Hi everyone, you're welcome to my next episode on leadership training. I am Ambassador Dr. MD Alege. You have always enjoyed my leadership training, and I want to encourage you to keep on listening to it and share with others, let them enjoy, so that we can all together. I want to see you succeeding in the years coming, in the time coming, and always make it a practice to listen to my regular episode on this leadership training. And if you can consistently listen and watch this episode, they are going to tremendously transform your life. In fact, I want to submit to you that you will achieve what you have not achieved in the last 10 years just within a year. But as you consistently listen to this episode, God is going to bless you tremendously. Hello there. I am Ambassador Dr. MV Alege. You are welcome to my new episode on leadership training. Just like I told you in the last episode, today I'm going to be talking on the year 2023 in retrospect. The year 2023 in retrospect. We want to look at the year 2023, study it, analyze it, and see what lesson we can learn. Very brief though. I want to tell you that the year 2023 came with its challenges, and also we had some of the things we could learn there. And so this is an application for us to consolidate our gains. And I would like you to listen with a rapt attention so that you can gain very well. I'm going to talk on two areas today. Number one, I'm going to talk about the factors that shape the year 2023. And then number two, I'm going to talk about formulas for shaping the year 2024. So now I'm going to talk about number one. Number one, I'm going to talk about the factors that shape the year 2023. I'm going to look at the letters of the alphabet, A to G, to do that for you. So simplify it so that you can get it very well. A stands for astronomical increases in the prices of goods and commodities generally. In many countries of the world, you would readily agree with me that there were sharp increases, astronomical increases in the prices of goods and commodities. You talk about petrol, you talk about gas, and that really affected people very badly. And these astronomical increases in the price of goods, or increase in the price of goods and commodity, were occasioned by leadership ineptitude and ignorance on the part of some of the citizens as well. So you want to take an introspective look at your life. You want to take a retrospective look at the year 2023. What could you have done differently if we had given the opportunity to relive the year 2023? We're going to make the year 2024 anyway. I've looked at the letter A. Letter B is what we call bad budgeting, which is budget deficit actually. When you talk about budget deficit or bad budget, it's when government expenses is actually or exceed revenue. And you want to apply that to your life. When your expenses exceed your income, that's signals dangers, and that's very bad. When government, those who are in the government leadership, they are not competent. They don't know what to do. We could have a budget deficit, although it is not as a result of leadership ineptitude alone. We have budget deficit. We could have unpredictabilities of life. Some things you did not bargain for, some things you did not imagine will ever happen, such as we could have a high increase in the killings, kidnappings, and a number of other things, and can make government to spend much more money than they had budgeted in the area of military, in the area of social securities, in the area of medical cares as well. You want to apply that to your personal life. What were the things that came suddenly that you never planned for in the year 2023? You want to study so that you do not make mistakes. Now, let me say this. As we are looking at the year 2023 in retrospect, it was the great philosopher George Santayana who said, and I quote, that those who do not remember or learn from the past of history are condemned to repeat it. But he did not stop at that. He said those who even study the past or try to analyze the past of history are more likely to make the same stupid mistake than or like those who actually do not study it. Why? Because even those who study the past and those who studied history, they do not learn from it. So the key word here is learn from the year 2023 or the past generally. I've looked at the letter A, astronomical increase in goods, prices of goods and commodities. I've also looked at the letter B, which is bad budgeting. We want to talk about that. I've talked about that. And then we want to look at the letter C. Letter C has to do with the constitutional amendment. Depending on your country, in some country we had constitutional amendment which actually affected the lives of the citizens or citizens, as you may, if you prefer. And you want to look at your areas. Well, if you're a student, maybe in your school, there were policies that were amended, that were changed, that affected the lives of the student, their welfare and everything along that line. You may want to look at your family. Maybe your father or your mother took bad decisions that affected you negatively. You want to look at your life. You took some decision too, unthinkingly. You already agree with some people. So probably you took some impulsive decisions. You didn't think very well before you took those decisions, and that could have affected you in the year 2023. We go to the letter D. Now, letter D has to do with, when we talk about letter D, we are talking about diverse diseases, sicknesses that affected the world as very terribly. And then we go to letter E, election years. For some countries and nations of the world, the year 2023 was an election year for them. And we are still in the year 2020, it's rounding up. Of course, we know that there's no any nation that's going to have election now. And then we have change in political leadership, either the same the same political party, but you have change of leadership, or an entire new party came on board, and then some policies were changed. In some nations, almost all the policies put in place by the past administrations were changed. You want to look at how it affects you. You could be working in an organization, you could be working in an institution, and you see that the leadership there. So we are not talking about the government at the central alone, at the federal level. We are talking about institutional leaders. We are talking about royal leaders. We are talking about religious leaders. We are talking about political leaders and all family leaders as well. We check letter A, we look at letter B, we look at letter C, we look at letter D, we look at letter E. Then let's go to letter F. Letter F has we talk about formidable floods and flood and food crisis in some countries. In some countries, they have formidable floods and the food crisis that affected people negatively. And so you want to look at that. What do we learn from that? The area you live, is it prone to flooding? You want to look at that. Food also crisis. The area you live, what do you do about that? What do you do about that? So that you don't keep on repeating the same mistake you have been repeating, living the same way you have been living and expecting the different results. We look at letter A, we look at letter B, we look at letter C, we look at letter D, we look at letter E, we look at letter F, and then we look at letter G now. And that letter G means governmental policies or decisions. Sometimes we call it some assault policies that the government people did not think about very well. They just wake up overnight and then take the decision without actually planning ahead to know. Now let me go to number 2, which is formulae or formulas for shaping the year 2024. How do you ensure that the mistake you made in the year 2023, and just before I talk about the year 2024, you want to look at the year 2023 and look at your milestone and your mistake. Like I knew I did this in the year 2021. In the year 2021, I made some mistake in one particular area of my life. And what I did was that in the year 2022, I wrote down those mistakes and I told myself I was not going to make those mistakes I made in the year 2021. So your milestone in the year 2023 and your mistake in the year 2023, before you get to the year 2024, you want to write them down and ensure that you do not repeat the same thing. So let's go to number 2 now, which is formulas or formulae for shaping the year 2024. You see, if you want to live a responsible life, if you want to live a life of impact, if you want to live a life that is significant, that will impact and influence others very well, and you yourself, you will feel fulfilled, and people around you will know that you're a blessing to them, I want to tell you, you need to practice what we call journaling. You need to know how to keep a journal. Journaling simply means keeping record of your experiences. And then for private use, I'm going to talk deeply about this in my training, mentoring class that will be coming up before the end of this year for my mentees across the world. And now, journaling, keep events of what happened to you, what lesson you can learn from there, and then you write it, you keep it very well. I also want to talk about budgeting. Make sure that you budget whatever you want to spend in the year 2024. Budget your time. In fact, not only money, budget your time, budget your money, budget everything you want to do, the period you want to do, whatever you want to do. And not only that, I also want to tell you to keep a financial record. Every money that you spend, keep a record of it. Keep a record. You will be able to monitor the inflow and the outflow. Are you spending more than what is coming in? You will know what you are spending your money on. What you are spending your money on, is it bringing back value to you? Is it increasing you and helping others around you? Not only that, I want to encourage you to subscribe for mentoring classes, seminars, conferences that will impact you and add value to your life. And then not only that, I want to challenge you also to be internationally, nationally, and locally aware of happenings around you. At the international level, there are some events that will determine economic situations of the global world. At the national level as well, there are some events, there are some decisions that will affect the life of the citizen. At the local level too, where you live, your immediate community, you've got to check and be aware and be alive to all those things. You need to have awareness of local happenings, awareness of national happenings, awareness of international happenings. If in the year 2023, you never bothered about what was happening in Europe, you never happened about what was happening in Africa, what was happening in Asia, in America, all the wars. Look at how in the year 2023 and even last year, 2022, how a war between two countries affected, a supply of food, a particular food, you understand, foodstuff. So you will want to know crop production of that country actually. And then not only that, I also want to tell you that you should draw nearer to God as we are preparing for the year 2024. Jesus Christ said that without me he can do nothing. And John chapter 3 verse 27 said that a man can receive nothing except be given to him from God. You may be living in wealth, you may be rich, you may be controlling a lot of things, but then when you leave this world, who are you going to account to? Of course, you're going to account to your God. So you should prepare to meet him. And you want to have a good report when you get it. Thank you very much for listening to me today. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. I want to encourage you to subscribe to this, my leadership training, share it. And I want to encourage you to let others know. I look forward to seeing you at another time. Thank you very much.